Maruti Suzuki has had quite a busy year in the country with a string of updated model launches. But the car that we're driving today is the absolutely brand new Grand Vitara SUV. It's a car model that claims to be quite the all-rounder, complete with strong hybrid technology, mild hybrid option, and for the first time, a Maruti Suzuki car in the country gets Suzuki All Grip Select technology, which claims to make this car quite the capable machine off the beaten path as well. We're testing this car on all of these parameters and of course on the comfort, space, features and the drivability. You're watching HT Auto. I'm your host Shubhadeep. When reviewing a car, we tend to start from how it looks from the outside because that really creates the first impression. And as far as first impressions go, the Grand Vitara makes a solid one and a solid case for itself. Now, comparisons, of course, would be drawn to the Toyota Urban Cruiser HyRyder, but as far as its exterior looks are concerned at least, the Grand Vitara is seeking to create its own unique identity. It's available in 8 color options, 5 of them in single tone and 3 in dual tone color options. My personal favorite though is the Nexa Blue that you see here. The overall design dynamics as well as the styling elements on the Grand Vitara is essentially what Maruti Suzuki cars should have been like before claiming to be SUVs. The Grand Vitara is an SUV and it looks the part. A strong chrome grille at the front flanked on either side by 3-point DRLs. The LED headlight units just under that and the grey treatment on the front bumper give the Grand Vitara a very solid face. Broad shoulder lines, chrome elements under the window line, some amount of body character on the side, and 17-inch wheels with a smart alloy design and a squarish wheel arch give the Grand Vitara a solid presence from the side as well. Now, there was a time not so long back when I did not like how Maruti Suzuki used to design its cars from the rear. But all of that changed with the Brezza, of course, with many telling us that the Brezza's rear profile is one of the most attractive features. The Grand Vitara obviously clearly is building on that sort of a feedback. Looks very stylish from the rear as well. You get LED taillights on both sides. You also get a stretched out light strip on the boot here. There is the Grand Vitara lettering and the Suzuki logo placed very prominently as well. The brake light comes right at the top, conventional positioning, and open the boot and there is some amount of boot space, but remember this particular model is a hybrid, so boot space, we mentioned this during our drive of the HyRyder as well, the hybrid boot space would be compromised. There is a plank here which can give you some customization options, but on the hybrid model in particular, the boot space isn't all that great. On the regular non-strong hybrid version though, the boot space is actually quite adequate and satisfactory for long journeys. But while boot space may or may not be adequate depending on whether you're opting for the strong hybrid or the non-hybrid or mild hybrid version, there is much on offer inside the Grand Vitara on the inside. So come, let's check it out. Much like all Maruti Suzuki cars, the Grand Vitara is a family vehicle and therefore the back seat comfort and space becomes very important. Now this seat is pushed quite far back and yet I have decent amount of leg space. The feet space is also quite adequate. The under thigh support is actually pretty good and the headroom is pretty generous as well. Now as far as the leg space for the passenger in the middle is concerned, that's a bit of a compromise considering the floor hump on this particular model. Thankfully though, the center console does not jut back all that much and therefore there is some saving grace on that count. The center console does get your usual fare of rear AC vents, a USB type A and a USB type C charging point and some storage right at the bottom. There is the usual armrest as well, you get dedicated cup holders and I like the fact that overall this car has a very airy feel all around it courtesy the big windows and the really large panoramic sunroof that you get with Maruti Suzuki cars finally. More important than space and comfort and features, of course, is safety, and the passenger in the middle does get dedicated seat belts. Let me take this opportunity to once again underline the importance of seat belts and wearing them regardless of where you are in a car. In terms of safety highlights, other than the seat belts, the Grand Vitara gets as many as 6 airbags, tire pressure monitoring system, ABS with EBD, hill descent control, and a whole lot more as well. In terms of other feature highlights inside the Grand Vitara, this SUV comes with wireless phone charging support, ventilated front seats, a head-up display, 360-degree surround camera, and of course the panoramic sunroof that we've already mentioned. The fit and feel of the Grand Vitara is several steps ahead of what we've come to expect from Maruti cars over the last several decades. Depending on whether you choose the smart hybrid option or the strong hybrid option, you will get the Grand Vitara in a dual tone interior color option with silver accents, or an all black interior with these champagne gold accents on the dash and on all 4 doors as well. And like we showed you on the Toyota HyRyder, there are soft leather materials with contrast stitching on the dash and all 4 doors here inside this Maruti SUV as well. The 4.2-inch driver display inside the strong hybrid is all digital and once again is identical to the one that you see on the HyRyder. Unfortunately though, if you're opting for the manual version of the Grand Vitara, you will have to do with a rather jaded looking analog driver display. But the biggest and the most real strength of any car continues to be how it is on the move. It's time to take this strong hybrid Grand Vitara out on roads here in Udaipur. So whichever Grand Vitara you choose, all of them come powered with that 1.5 litre petrol motor. The state of tunes are a little different, but the options that you get are very similar, identical in fact to what you get in the HyRyder. The comparisons would be drawn between and have been drawn between the Grand Vitara and the HyRyder, and there is definitely merit in why those comparisons are being drawn. We're currently driving the strong hybrid version of the Maruti SUV. In its strong hybrid version, the Grand Vitara offers 115 HP of total combined power output, exactly the same as that offered by its counterpart in the Toyota SUV. There is 141 Newton meters of torque, and while none of the newer vehicles from either Toyota or Maruti Suzuki are as exciting to drive as the turbo engine options on the Creta and Seltos, the Grand Vitara does have quite the mature drivetrains and drive dynamics about it. The SUV essentially comes with 2 drive modes. One is the Eco for better fuel efficiency, and the other is the Power mode when you require just a little bit more from that engine. But the best part really about the Grand Vitara strong hybrid engine option is how silent it is, especially when taking off from standstill. Because starting off, the Grand Vitara starts off on battery power entirely, and as and when you get a move along, there is a combination of the engine and the battery working in tandem. Now, these are things that I explained in our review of the HyRyder as well, and the functioning of the hybrid technology is absolutely identical. On some of our uphill climb stretches, we were in need of some extra power, and at throttle inputs, which are a little bit more aggressive, the engine takes over entirely. But the functioning of either the engine or the battery is absolutely automatic, so you won't even really notice, except for the fact that in EV only mode, the car is extremely silent, as I mentioned. And it is essentially what combines all the 3 processes combines to give the strong hybrid the claimed fuel efficiency of around 28 kmpl. Realistically speaking, I would expect both the HyRyder and the Grand Vitara to return about 24 to 25 kilometers to every litre. Still quite impressive considering the 1.5 litre engine under the hood. If you are on a budget and fuel efficiency isn't actually at the top of your priority list, then I would recommend going for this mild hybrid technology. The transmission in both the strong and the mild hybrid versions are a little different in terms of their state of tune and tweaks, but the way the cars drive in both the states are very similar. Considering of course that it is a Maruti, the steering setup is easy enough for this car, despite its proportions, larger proportions, for it to navigate city traffic easily enough. Alright, so we've driven the strong hybrid and the mild hybrid versions of the Grand Vitara, but this SUV is also promising a whole lot of off-road action. So it's now time to actually swap cars and get things really exciting and dirty. Maruti Suzuki may have entered the SUV game late, but it is here now with the Grand Vitara and here to play and play big. The Grand Vitara has several highlights in its resume, but is its resume impressive enough for you and your requirements? Do let us know. Also do let us know what you thought about our review, and check out the full in-depth detailed review on the HT Auto website. For now though, that's all the time we have. Thank you for watching.